Hey dude, welcome to this training. So you put your hand up because stuff going on for you in fatherhood journey and you want a bit of help and support to figure out what you can do for yourself. It's going to help bring you to the next level within that journey. So let's get stuck into what that might look like. So for some, you might be feeling really tired and lost. I get it. This fucking journey of fatherhood is such a beautiful experience, but it's also so challenging. You might be feeling like you're doing everything for everybody else and nothing for yourself. I've been there. This is something, the pattern that I see so often with the guys that I work with and the guys that I'm having conversations with, where they're trying to be everything for everybody else, but they leave themselves last in the pecking order. And then that just leads to burnout and frustration. Or you might feel that you're not showing up how you want to for your partner and kids. I get it. Because at the end of the day, it's like how you're trying to show up now in fatherhood it's very different to what you were probably raised. That old model of fatherhood is like our dads were the provider. They were there providing for the family, but they weren't really there emotionally. They weren't really there with presence, and they weren't lifting the load that we are trying to do right now in fatherhood. Whereas this new era of fatherhood is we're trying to do it all. We're trying to wear so many hats of killing it in work, providing for the family, while also being that emotional anchor for the family, being a supportive partner, and being really connected, fun, present, and building that emotional intelligence with your kids. That is a lot to carry. And there's no real roadmap in how to actually do this all. So this is why, again, so many guys are feeling tired and lost on this journey. This is why so many people are feeling like they're doing all of these different things, but you don't have any time or space for yourself, and you're just feeling burnt out. You're feeling frustrated. You're feeling resentful, even in the fatherhood journey. And all of that then leads up to you snapping at your kids. It leads to you being disconnected. It's looking for you to numb out and avoid life because things are just getting challenging. Things are a bit hard. And the truth of the matter is, I get that because for me, I'm a father of four. It's my beautiful family. The photo's a little bit older, but oldest is 10, youngest is 2 now. And I get it. I know exactly what it feels like to try to do all of these things and just feel like you're just spinning your wheels. For myself, whenever I first became a father, I went through a lot of changes. And that was actually what set me off on this path. I was working as a health and wellness coach. I've been sports physio for the last 20 years, qualified. I've been working in the health and wellness industry for over 20 years as well, help and support a lot of people with different aspects of their body, and then moved into the mindset. And then because I went through my own dark night of the soul when I became a father, because I had my own struggles that I was moving through, I didn't work on myself. I didn't speak out. I didn't ask for help and support enough at the start. I felt really lost, and that was really hard. But by being on that journey, that was what made me put my hand up, ask for help and support, start speaking to the right people, start learning how to do things differently, that everything started to change. And that's where the Grounded Father was born, because I wanted to help other guys who were in that same shoes as me to not feel like you're alone, to not feel like you're failing, trying to be the best father that you can be, and actually teaching you and equipping you with the tools and the mindset and the skills and resources is going to help you show up how you want to show up. Because the truth of the matter is, one of the analogies that I use a lot is, if you're working in your job and you got a promotion in the job, and that promotion meant you had more responsibilities, it meant that you had more people to manage, it meant that your time was going to be taken up a lot more, it meant there was going to be more financial pressure on you, you would get training, you would get mentoring, you would get support enabled to do that. And that's so normal within that work model. But when we look at becoming a father or becoming a father of multiple kids over the years, it's like you have more responsibilities, you have more people to manage. There's so much more of a strain on you and your relationship with your partner. But we just try to figure it out on our own. Something's off here. And again, as guys, so often it's like we don't talk about this. We don't share the struggles that we're facing. We push it all down and we just put on a brave face and it's like, yeah, I'm good. I've got this. I just have to push through. But this is where we can start changing that. This is where we can start doing something differently to start showing up in a better way for yourself and your family. And just like the guy, Dean, who started working with me a while ago, and he was saying it was like one of the best investments he ever made with himself, because he was not present with his family at all. He was really struggling mentally. He was reaching for alcohol a lot, like not, didn't have a drinking problem, but he was just drinking like to numb out and to avoid life, having a few beers every night. And that was affecting his health. That was affecting how he was showing up as a father. That was affecting his relationship. But being able to actually start doing this work on himself, being able to start understanding himself, everything started to shift and change. And like he's in such a solid relationship now with his missus, and they've got two kids now, and just life has been fucking so different from. Or we've got Niall, who was killing it in work. He was providing really well for the family, had ticked all the boxes for the house, the cars, all the different things. But he didn't have a relationship with his wife. They just drifted apart. Like she was mothering, he was working and providing, but they had no connection. And he felt really bad for that. And the other side of it is like he wasn't there for his kids. And when he was there for his kids, he was exhausted and just being reactive and ratty with his kids. And that wasn't how he wanted to parent. So by being able to do this work, that improves his relationship with his wife and his kids to the next level. Or we've got Mark, who this guy, he had, was it whenever we started working, a 4-year-old daughter and triplets. I had three other girls just about 6 months before we started working. So his life got flipped on its head very, very fucking quickly. And again, by doing so, was like he was really stretched to no end on what he needed to do and how he wanted to show up for himself. His missus was supporting, or his missus was struggling, so he really needed to support her. And had to really figure out the battles and the demons that was going on for himself, because he was holding a lot of anger from his past. That was bursting out in frustration and shouting and all of these different things, and not just how he wanted to show up as father, but by being able to have more awareness of himself through this work. Like he completely changed and shifted his whole relationship and his dynamics. And again, this is the power of doing this work. This is the power of learning to understand yourself better, to be able to show up as the father that you want to be and the partner that you want to be. And that's what the aim of this is, being able to better ourselves. Because if you're watching this, if you put your hand up for this, I know that you want to do the best job that you can do, but you just don't know how to. And that's okay. My biggest thing that I work with the guys that I support is we're focusing on progress over perfection. I don't want you to be the perfect dad, because again, that's not fucking real. Life is busy, life is chaotic, but I want you to be able to learn how to make progress every day, to be the father that you want to be and be the partner that you want to be. So how do we do that? Let's dive in. This is the 3E model that I've created. As I said, I've been doing this work for a long, long time. So I have created different systems and models and practice and tools that's going to help make this really fucking easy for you to get it. So when we look at the 3E model, I was looking at explore, evolve, and embody. So that exploration is getting really clear on who we are, where we are, what's going on for us, what's working well, what's not working well for us, and more importantly, where do we want to be? So again, a lot of guys just knows something isn't right, and then you're reaching for podcasts, you're looking at Instagram reels, you're looking for little nitbits of information to hope that that's going to change. Whereas a lot of time, the things that you're looking for is just going to be working on the surface level. It's not actually looking at the root cause of what's going on for you. And this is where a lot of guys really struggle. Whereas with this exploration part is getting to actually really understand yourself, get a clear picture of where you are and where you want to be. And then that gives us something to work on. Then the next aspect of it is that evolution. When we're able to go through that evolution of our habits, our behaviors, our mindset, and what it is that we're doing, how we're showing up on a day-to-day basis, that's allowing us to step into that future version of ourselves. I always call it as like, who is Finn 2.0? Who is this 2.0 version of you that you want to be? And how does he want to live? How does he show up? How does he communicate? How does he look after himself? And this is where we need to start changing our patterns and the behaviors to start stepping into that new version of ourselves. And again, this is where unfortunately a lot of guys struggle, is like they have a bit of awareness of it, they do the things that they want to evolve, but nothing really sticks because we're just getting caught up in the busyness of life. Or you just get to a point where things are okay, it's a bit better, and then it's like we just go in cruise control again, and then that's when we fall back into our old regressions, we fall back into our old patterns, and then we just get stuck between this explore and evolution piece. Whereas when we actually start embodying these changes that we're making, this is where everything starts sticking. And that embodiment comes in by creating the systems that makes it really easy for yourself, not waiting on motivation to come to do the things that's going to support you. It's actually having the systems in place, having the non-negotiables and the standards in place that's going to show you and support you into, this is just the way I am, this is how I be. And the beauty of this is, as we go through this explore, evolve, embody, we don't just stop there, because we're complex beings. Life changes. Our kids go through different seasons as they're getting older, so we have to continuously move through this. And this is why everything is a spiral for me. It's like this going through this continuous evolution, this spiral of this explore, evolve, embody. So if that sounds good, but you might be kind of, what the fuck does that mean? How is this relatable to the fatherhood journey? Let's actually break this down into more of a step-by-step process. And this is what I bring all the guys on through the Grounded Man Roadmap. again, being able to have a roadmap to follow makes life so much fucking easier. So you're not just winging it. You're not just reaching for the latest podcast, or you're not just trying to like put out the fire without actually looking at what is causing the fire in the first place. So when we look at that first part is like we need to find the gaps. This is that evolution of where we are right now, what's working well for you, what's not working well for you, and what the difference is there. And then there's also looking at like, where do I want to be? So this is starting to like look at what is the low hanging fruit for you? What is the gaps that are going on for you that is causing you the most stress and strain right now? So you can start putting out some of them small fires and create some wins for yourself. So you're starting to show up, you're starting to build a bit of that momentum, but you also know where it is that you're moving forward. You're not just winging it. You're not just trying to do like a 30-day fucking challenge of doing breath work every day and hoping that's going to fix everything. The next one is setting your foundations. This is paramount. You need to have really rock solid foundations in how you show up. And this is around your exercise. This is around your nutrition. This is around your sleep. This is around like some sort of practice of regulating your nervous system. It's around having a journaling practice to start writing your thoughts out. Again, I've got a whole course that goes deep into setting your foundations so you have a baseline to work from. Because again, a lot of guys think, oh, there's something going on here with my childhood, or there's something going on here with missus, so I'll just go straight into the deep end and try to do all of these changes, try to make all of these shifts. But then it's really hard to bring that back into day-to-day life. Soon as life gets a bit busy, life gets a bit stressful, everything just falls back, and then you're straight back to where you were before you started doing this work. But the thing is like if you don't have a foundation to hold you, then you're always gonna fall back into the lowest common denominator of just your old patterns that have been there the longest. So being able to have solid foundations when life gets fucking crazy, these foundations hold you in that craziness to be able to ride that wave so you can move forward with a lot more ease and grace. So important in fatherhood. And it doesn't have to be difficult, and it's not a ridiculous morning routine that a fucking 20-year-old dude with no kids and no responsibilities is teaching you. This is teaching you and figuring out what this works like, what this looks like for you to fit the life that you have. The next thing is once we start working on foundations, this is having a clear vision and our values. Because again, a lot of guys come into this work, you may be included, have come into this work from a place of pain and discomfort that you want to move away from. It's like, I'm not happy with how I'm showing up in my family. I'm not happy in my relationship. I'm not happy with my health or whatever that might be. So that is a pain that you want to move away from, and that is what's starting you on this journey. But if that's the only thing that's starting you on this journey and bringing you into it, you're going to be relying on motivation to keep you there. Whereas that'll get you into the starting blocks. But when you have a really clear vision of values of who it is that you want to be and who it is that you're working towards, that's what is going to start moving you away from the pain and actually pulling you towards this future version of yourself. So when life gets hard or when there's challenges coming through, this is a greater vision, is actually pulling you into that future rather than you're just falling back into your old patterns. The next thing is when we have these clear visions and values, this allows us to go through another level of evolution. This is where we raise our standards. We raise the bar of how it is that we're showing up, of what our non-negotiables are for ourselves. Because again, it's like you're going to fall to your level of your standards. So if you have shit standards, if you have no fucking standards and no idea what that is for you, you're going to fall back into cruise control very easy. Whereas when you start working through all of this, when you start setting your foundations, knowing where it is that you're moving towards with your vision of values and start raising your standards, this is holding you to a higher level of the man that you want to be. And it's so powerful when you do so. So this is really cool to be able to move through these step-by-step phases, because it allows you to actually see like there is a way, there is a path that I can follow to start making these healthy changes for yourself that are going to stick, that are going to last. The next thing is then we want to start delving into understanding ourselves better, because at the end of the day, is like, if you don't know why you do things, it's going to be really hard to make these changes. This is again where like we're moving away from putting out the fire by just putting water in the fire. We actually is like looking at what is causing that fire in the first place. What is causing you to react the way that you react? What is causing you to have certain patterns, have these different things going on in your life? Because when you're able to start understanding the masculine and feminine within inside of you, this isn't fucking woo-woo. This is actually understanding why you do what you do. Like if when we go through this, this is one of the biggest things that just blows so many guys' minds, because they're just like, fucking never understood that about myself, but it makes so much sense. If you fall into like anger and aggression and frustration and stuff like that's a wounded masculine coming out to play to protect you. Or if you fall into like a neediness or like a pulling away or like a closing down, that's your wounded feminine coming out to play because you don't feel safe. Whereas if you're able to start understanding these different patterns and how they work for you and being able to start stepping into more of a healthy masculine and feminine, you're going to have a massive shift within yourself. But also, this is one of the biggest shifts that's got to happen within your relationship with your missus, but also your relationship with your kids, because it's teaching you how to actually step into more of that leadership of yourself, taking responsibility of how you're showing up. So, so cool. I love when guys start going through this because this is where things just start pinging for them. Next thing from there is looking at stress resilience. Again, you hear time and time again, it's not about just doing a fucking Wim Hof breath. It's not about just doing a bit of meditation. It's actually is like, what does stress resilience actually mean? So like before I even went into any of this work, this was a massive, massive part to play of the work that I was doing as a sports physio and as a rehab specialist. Is like being able to work with people's bodies and their nervous system to create safety within their system again is fixes so many of the problems that we don't even realize are there. So as fathers, as we're able to understand our nervous systems better, understand what's going on within ourselves and understand how to create safety again within our systems, that is going to give you so much more of a caution and so much more capacity to deal with the busyness of life. Because again, life is fucking busy. Life is going to throw curveballs at you. But when you have things in place that support you in that, you're going to be able to ride the waves a lot easier. And then this is where our medicine pouch comes into play. This is another really important principle because when we look at our medicine pouch, this is self-care 101. This is what does the things look like for you in the season that you're in? Because for me, I'm a father of 4 young kids, run my own business. There's a lot of different moving pieces in my life, and the things that I look for, the things that I reach for, the things that I do might be very different for you because you might be in a very different season of your life. So when we're able to build out what your specific medicine pouch looks like, that is what's going to hold you in the season that you're in and help you show up how you want to show up. So fucking cool. I love this. Like, oh man, like I just get so excited about this because when guys start moving through this, just the changes this they start feeling and living and experiencing are huge, but also the ripple effect of that in the whole household is mammoth. So then once we have all of these foundations in place so much more better, this allows us to actually look at our communication skills. So communication is so, so, so important. We know that. But when we look at the actual aspect of communication, it's not what you say, it's everything else that's going on behind it. Like research has looked at it as like communication is like only 7% of communication is the words that are coming out of your mouth. Whereas a lot of guys trying to make these changes are trying to say the right things. But if everything else is off, if the tone that you say it is off, if the energy behind it that you say it is off, all of these other things are going to start having a bigger effect in it. Whereas when you're able to actually work on your stress, work on your like balance your nervous system, work and be more grounded, be more calm, be more present, and be more calculated with how you're expressing yourself and what you're communicating, so many things are going to shift and change for you. Again, a lot of guys find it really hard to actually express what's going on for them, express their needs because they don't even ask themselves that. Whereas by having journaling practice, by having different things in place, by learning how to ask yourself harder questions and have deeper self-reflection, that is then going to allow you to communicate that with a lot more ease. And then that's going to have such a positive ripple effect in your relationship with your missus, but also a relationship with your kids and other aspects of your life. So again, this is where things are just starting to move, starting to really start moving into more of that embodiment piece. And the thing that's going to really help that is integrating your systems. So what does your actual systems look like to support and hold you through this? Not going to speak too much into it because this is more down the track of what that looks like. But there's so many levels that you can do. And then like there's a lot of other deeper work that we can explore with that. This is where we're going into like attachment styles, like mother wounds, father wounds, all of these other different things and that you can explore and work with. But if we just start working through these first ones, like everything else is absolutely, absolutely changes from there. So again, I hope this gives you a little bit more clarity on what this actually looks like for yourself. I hope that it's not too daunting and scary for yourself. Because again, one of the biggest things that I focus on is like we're working on progress over perfection. As long as we're making progress, as long as we're moving the needle in these different areas, that's what's going to make so much more rather than doing like a burst for like 30 days and then doing nothing for a couple of months and then starting again and then doing nothing for a while. It's like, whereas if you have these steady progress moving forward here, you're going to start seeing these changes come true. And one of the things that so many of the guys that I work with say after a few months is they never realize the importance of the small things. But by being able to do small things well over a consistent length of time, the changes are fucking massive. Where again, so many of us just looking for these big things that we're trying to reach for and trying to change and think that's going to fix everything. Whereas if we're able to get this baseline working and working on the small things as well, so that just sorts out so much of the stuff that's going on for us. So if you've any questions on that, let me know. But what I want to invite you to is this is the work that I do. This is the changes that I want to make is to be able to help guys just like you to show up as a more of a grounded father, show up as a more present, loving partner, and just be more fucking more happy with how you are in your day to day because it's fucking hard. And this is why I've set up my business in this way to be able to support as many guys as possible through here. So there's a few different ways that you can explore this. If you want to go a little bit deeper, I have a community in school which is called the Grounded Father Community. And within that, there is a free aspect of it, and there's a paid aspect, the paid membership of it. In the free aspect of it, you will get access to a heap of different trainings and resources. There's a couple of master classes and trainings in here that goes deeper into some of the concepts that we spoke about. Building your capacity as a busy father. This is a course. This is a free course that is in the free membership that works on that second point of setting your foundations. This whole course is literally learning how to build your capacity as a busy father by having solid foundations in how it is that you're showing up. And again, I've got guys that are working through this here. And just by making them changes alone, by working on that piece alone, like they're feeling so much more better within themselves. They're showing up so much better as a partner, as a father, and like it's really really cool. So if you're jumping into the school community and if all you want to do is just work through these couple of courses, work through a couple of these free trainings, like you're going to get heaps of resources and support and everything with that. We also have a community aspect where you're able to ask questions and like there'll be other things that'll be popping up in through here and also share my podcasts and the different like the new recordings and podcasts that come up each week as well. So just being in that Grounded Father community, there'll be a link below where you can access that. Like that's going to be really cool. Whereas if you want to go that bit deeper, this is where I love to actually work with guys more specifically in the membership. And part of the membership is $200 a month, which is $50 a week. At the end of the day, it's like, it's a fucking bargain. Like what else are you spending $50 on a week that is not actually helping you or serving you or supporting your family? Whereas if you're able to spend $50 a week, $200 a month, you're going to get all this access and support, but you're also going to get more courses and trainings will open up. This is where we have our men's circles. This has become like a more in-depth course, which is becoming a grounded father. This is 5 topics over 3 hours of content that goes deep into your nervous system, deep into your medicine pouch, deep into communication skills. There's so much fucking stuff in this. It is such a powerful game changer. You get access to all of that. You will also get access to our weekly men's circles, whereas every Monday night we jump on for a call, and this is going through different topics and trainings that we have, but also an opportunity to have some Q&A. So if there is stuff that's going on for you, you have an opportunity to get one-on-one coaching with me in this circle. And like this, one of the things that so many guys say and experience from this is when they actually are in a room of other guys and other fathers, they realize that we're all sharing the same struggles. We're all going through the same stuff. And by hearing me coach another guy, you're going to get so much benefit out of that because there's going to be so many things that are going to be relatable to your life. So again, with that is such a powerful session that we work on every week. And then we put recordings in here. There's heaps of recordings from the last 6 months in here as well for you to work on. But also in this, there's other courses that are in this on training. So like different types of strength training and recovery. There's a whole course on nutrition and like especially for busy fathers. This is where a precision nutrition coach came in and gave me courses and ran through heaps of training support specifically for busy fathers to work around your busy lifestyle. And then I also run Grounding 42 resets. So this is like a 6-week little mini program within this here, no extra cost with it, where it's like a 6-week accountability. We're just kind of really delving deeper into some of these principles and practices. We do them a couple of times a year as that little reset and a little bit more of accountability. And the last thing, is that brotherhood. So being able to have guys that you can lean on, being able to have guys that you can ask questions of and have support from, like is so fucking powerful. And you've got access to me if you've got questions, if you need any answers, just come to me, reach out, and like this is what this community is for. So again, I really appreciate you taking this time to watch this training. I really appreciate this time that you have taken to actually start making these changes for yourself. Because as a guy, as a father, like it's really fucking hard. It's really important to be able to look after yourself in this way. And your family are going to be so fucking grateful for you to make these changes within yourself. So if you jump into the free community, I'd love to see you in there. If you jump into the membership, even better. I'd be fucking delighted to be able to support you. But if you've got any questions at all, just reach out and ask for help. And at the end of the day, remember, nothing's going to change until you change. Thank you.